Story 1. Footsteps at midnight. It happened in late October, right after the first frost painted the ground silver in the quiet town of Jasper Hill, Pennsylvania. My friend Elise had just moved into a small, single-story rental house tucked at the end of a cul-de-sac, a sleepy little street, the kind where everyone waves, but no one really knows each other. One night, around 12:40 a.m., Elise was curled up in bed, scrolling through her phone with a cup of chamomile tea. The neighborhood was silent. The only sound was the gentle rustling of leaves outside her slightly cracked window. That's when she heard it. Footsteps, slow, deliberate, cautious. They weren't on the front porch or the sidewalk. No, these were right below her bedroom window, a side of the house shielded by a row of tall bushes. She froze, breath caught in her throat, ears straining. At first, she thought maybe it was a raccoon or a stray cat, but the rhythm was off, too heavy. Two human dots, then came a pause, and something brushed against the siding. A soft scraping sound, like someone was dragging their nails across the paint. Elise flicked off her phone screen, her room now lit only by the faint blue glow of her digital clock. She reached slowly for the curtain, parting it just an inch. A silhouette, tall, still, facing her window. She couldn't see a face, just the faint outline of a hooded figure, standing in the shadows between the bushes and the house wall. She whispered a prayer and backed away, heart pounding, hands shaking. She called 911, trying to keep her voice steady. The dispatcher stayed on the line, urging her to stay inside, stay calm, stay hidden. It took the police 9 minutes to arrive. When they swept the area, there was no sign of the person, no footprints, no shadow. But one of the officers found something right under her window, a twisted wire coat hanger shaped into a makeshift hook, almost like someone was trying to fish something through the cracked window. Elise moved out a week later. The coat hanger? It disappeared from the police station's evidence locker. No one ever explained how or why. Story 2. The campground. Watcher my uncle and his family were camping in upstate Vermont last summer, one of those deep forest sites where the only light at night comes from the fire pit and stars. They had 3 tents set up, one for him and his wife, one for their 2 sons, and another for gear. That second night, around 10:30 p.m., my uncle was sipping coffee by the fire, listening to the forest settle. The crickets were loud. The trees barely swayed. Then he noticed something in the tree line, maybe 30 feet away. Something wasn't moving. A shape, a person, or what looked like one standing unnaturally still between 2 birch trunks. No lantern, no flashlight, just watching. My uncle stood up, squinting into the darkness. "Hey," he called. "This is private camping. Can I help?" "You?" Nothing. No movement. No answer. Then came a shuffle of leaves, quiet, but intentional. The figure stepped back into deeper shadows, vanishing. He checked the kids still sleeping. His wife hadn't heard a thing. He stayed up till dawn, axe in hand, barely blinking. The next morning, they found small footprints all around the tent the kids had slept in. Muddy, uneven, some crossing back and forth, like the person had been circling it for hours. He snapped pictures on his phone. Later, when they zoomed in, they noticed something that still haunts him. In one image, just at the edge of the tent canvas, there's a partial reflection on the plastic window. Eyes, wide, hollow, staring directly into the tent. They left that day and never went back. Story 3. Knock at 3:07 a.m. Sarah was a junior at a small college in Oregon, living in an off-campus rental with one other roommate. The place was old, creaky floors, drafty windows, bad insulation, but it was cheap and close to school. One night, she woke suddenly. Her digital clock glowed in the dark. 3:07 a.m. Then came a knock Dot not pounding. Not even a full knock. Just dot dot dot. A single deliberate tap dot knock. Dot silence. Dot she lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. Maybe it was a dream. Maybe the house settling dot knock. She sat up dot this time. It came again, same rhythm. 3 seconds apart. Calm. Measured dot Sarah got up and crept toward the living room. The front door had a small window at the top, but she didn't. Dare look through it dot instead. She peered from the edge of the hallway and saw the shadow of someone standing on the porch. They didn't move. They just stood there and knocked dot one. Single time. Her roommate didn't answer texts. Her phone didn't work. The figure stood still for several minutes before turning and walking away into the night. Sarah never saw a face, but something told her whoever or whatever was knocking knew she was awake dot the next day. She bought a cheap motion-activated camera and installed it. That night, 3:07 a.m. It happened again dot when she checked the footage the next morning. Her blood turned to ice. Figure wore a long coat and a cloth sack over their head, like a hood. No eye holes, no markings. Just a canvas-like bag tied around their neck with twine and taped to the door beneath the knocker. A wooden cross, carved by hand, turned upside down. Sarah called the police, but when they arrived, the cross was gone.